All right, let's just jump right in. If you're a parent of a teen, you know the feeling, right? It's like you're suddenly on completely different planets. You get the slammed doors, the one-word answers, the headphones that seem surgically attached, and it can really feel like that connection you used to have is just fading. But listen, that gap, it's not as wide as it seems. And over the next few minutes, we're going to explore how to start building a bridge right back to. And yeah, if you feel like you're speaking a totally different language, you are definitely not alone. The good news, though, is that this doesn't have to be a permanent thing. That's what this whole explainer is about, giving you a practical set of tools drawn from psychology and family communication research to help you reopen those lines of communication and build a stronger, more resilient relationship. So before we get into the how-to, it's so important to understand the why. Seriously, this isn't just about making life at home a little more peaceful. The quality of your relationship with your teen has these powerful, scientifically backed effects that can last their entire life.
What you're seeing here, these are the long-term payoffs. And they are huge. I mean, a massive study of over 15,000 teenagers found a direct line between having a warm, close relationship with their parents and all of these positive outcomes down the road. So the effort you're putting in now, it isn't just about getting through today. It's truly a profound investment in your kids' future happiness and well-being. It's a really big deal.
Okay, so where do we even begin? Well, the single biggest shift you can make has nothing to do with finding the perfect words. It's all about the mindset you bring to the conversation. See, the goal isn't to win an argument or prove you're right. The goal is simply to open the door for more conversation, not slam it shut.
And here you can see the difference in action. On the left, we've got the communication closers. Talking down to them, being critical. That stuff instantly puts them on the defensive. But on the right, you have the openers. Instead of shutting them down, phrases like, "tell me how you see it," are basically an invitation. They signal respect, which makes your teen way more likely to actually talk to you.
This quote really hits home, doesn't it? When we lecture, we think we're dropping some serious wisdom. But what our teen hears is that we don't trust them, or that we think they're incapable of making good choices on their own. Our message of care and concern, it just gets completely lost in translation.
Okay, so we've got the mindset right. Now let's get into our first practical tool. And this is one you can start using literally the second this explainer is over. It's all about recognizing that connection isn't built in some big, grand gesture.
This concept, called small things often, is a total game changer. It's not the expensive family vacation that builds the strongest bonds. It's the little stuff, the tiny positive interactions you have day after day after day. Trust me on this. Consistency beats intensity every single time.
So what do these small things actually look like? Well, for starters, just catch them being good. A quick, specific, "hey, thanks for helping your brother with his homework," shows you're actually paying attention to the positive stuff, not just nagging them about the negative. Next up, try entering their world, but without being intrusive. Just ask for their top 3 songs and then, actually play them in the car. You don't have to love the music, but you're showing that you love them and that you're interested in their world.
And finally, speak their language. A simple text, totally out of the blue, is like making a small deposit in the relationship bank. It just reinforces that connection right in the middle of their busy day.
And speaking of their digital language, we can't possibly talk about connecting with teens today without talking about technology. For a lot of parents, their phone feels like a giant wall, but it can actually be a window, if you know what you're looking for.
So teens often use emojis as a kind of code to talk about sensitive stuff. Now the key here, and this is important, is context. A peach emoji can just be a peach, but if you see these emojis used in ways that feel secretive or paired with big changes in their behavior, they can be clues. The goal isn't to be a detective, it's just to be aware enough to ask some gentle questions if you get concerned. And then there are the apps. I know, this list can look totally overwhelming, showing just some of the platforms they're on and the potential risks. But before you panic, just look at that key message at the bottom. Banning apps? It usually just pushes the behavior underground. The single most effective strategy is to stay curious. Ask them what they like about an app, who they follow, what they share. That curiosity opens the door to a real conversation about safety. So, what happens when the small things often approach isn't quite enough for a bigger issue? For those times, we can borrow a really powerful tool from a field called restorative justice. It's all about repairing harm and rebuilding relationships, and while it's used in schools and communities, it can absolutely work for families too.
So how does this actually work? Let's break it down. First, one person is the keeper. Their only job is to guide the process and keep it a safe space. They're not there to take sides. Second, you use a talking piece, and this can be literally anything. The TV remote, a stress ball, whatever. The rule is simple. If you're not holding it, you're not talking. Period. This just cuts out the interruptions. Third, you agree on the rules together before you even begin. And finally, and this is the most important part, everyone agrees on the goal. And the goal is not winning the argument. The goal is understanding. It's just a structured way to make sure everyone feels heard.
Phew, okay, we have covered a lot of ground here. Everything from big picture mindsets to really specific practical tools. So let's pull all of this together into a cohesive toolkit that you can start using today.
So here it is, your key takeaways. It all starts with your mindset. Be an opener, not a closer. Then, build that relationship brick by brick with small, daily moments of connection. When it comes to their digital life, approach it with curiosity, not suspicion. For the really tough conversations, use a structured process like the talking circle to make sure everyone gets a voice. And if you remember nothing else from this, remember this: listen more than you talk.
That connection you have with your teen isn't lost, I promise. It's just changing. And rebuilding it doesn't require some massive overhaul of who you are as a parent. It can start with a single, small action. So what's yours going to be? Sending that text? Asking about that song? It all starts with one small step.